Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that were canceled and or short-lived that I like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the NBC show Debris. Really quickly, if you're unfamiliar with Debris is, basically the premise behind it is that there's an alien ship in space, and for like the past 6 months, pieces of that ship have been crashing down in different places around the world, and that's where the debris comes into place. These pieces of the ship that are falling are known as debris. Basically, they range from small little chunks to large chunks that basically cause these special phenomena around the world, and basically different governments around the world are dealing with them, as well as collecting them. In particular, we focus on an organization here in the US known as Orbital. Basically, it's a collaboration between the CIA and MI6, which both our main protagonists Brian and Finola belong to respectively. Like, the thing that you can definitely compare it to is Fringe. It's actually, I've talked about it during my reviews, J.H. Wyman, the creator of this show, was I believe he wrote as well as was a showrunner for Fringe at one point in time. So you can definitely look at that show, you're like, oh, you definitely get those Fringe vibes. But sadly, most recently, the show was canceled. I think I was looking at the articles, it was probably like a week or two ago, the show got canceled after one season. I chalk it up to just most shows getting canceled, it just wasn't getting the viewership, which is such a bummer. Because if you're looking for some hardcore science fiction, like I said, this is a perfect show because it tackles a lot of interesting elements. Kind of some time travel stuff, some parallel universe stuff, but just this grand mystery about what this debris is about. There's an organization named Influx which is trying to unravel, they're trying to make sure that not one government body gets their hands on this technology that is going to be the world is supposed to get it. It's a whole thing. Because sadly, the season 1 finale answers some questions, and I talked about it in my review, but gives you so much more. And it's such a bummer we will never get the answers to all of that, because it's really heady stuff that makes you think okay, what does this mean? What could that mean? Where is all of this going? Are we going to interact with the aliens whose ship that is? Are they actually here on Earth? There's certain things in season 1 that make you go, maybe the aliens are actually on Earth. Whoever was piloting that ship, maybe they're actually here on Earth and we're just not aware of it. Maybe they look like us. That's a whole conversation. But also, the season 1 finale introduced some elements of okay, what's that mean? And what's that? And what's that? So much got dropped on you. It was like a lore dump in a video game. It was there's just that much being thrown at you. So, like I said, sadly the show was canceled. I'd like to see the show come back for a full run. I don't want just one season. I think you would need maybe 4 or 5 to fully tell this. Just how massive the implications are for all of this. I feel it definitely would need multiple like I said, maybe 4 at the 3 or 4 more seasons. I'd say that 5 season mark at least a perfect run, because Fringe ended up with a 5th season. Granted, those are different circumstances, but I think Fringe was able to wrap up its story pretty nicely with 5 seasons. So I think I just wish this show had the opportunity as well. I don't know if any streaming service will pick this show up or anything like that. I watched this show on Hulu. Anytime I wasn't able to watch it live, I'd watch it the next morning on Hulu. But because it is an NBC show, I'm sure you can check, because I'm not aware of whether or not it has all 13 episodes of season 1. I'm sure Peacock's probably the main streaming service you could find all the episodes. Like I said, I'm having my fingers crossed, hoping, but I don't know if there's a big enough audience for the show. But I think if you put it on a particular streaming service, maybe the show could get the attention maybe it sadly didn't get on network television. But I'd love this show to get a second chance. I want it to have a long life. Once again, not just 1 or 2 seasons. I think getting up to season 5 will be a good benchmark, and I think it'd be, once again, because Fringe ended with 5 seasons, I think this show deserves 5 seasons as well. But once again, however long it takes them to tell the story they want to tell, they want to be able to tell in 4 seasons, cool. They want that 5 seasons, that's awesome as well. But that's just how I'm feeling about it. I know there are quite plenty of people who are disappointed, who did want at the very least 2 or 3 more seasons of the show as well. So I'd love to know your thoughts about it. Is there any particular streaming service you think would do the show justice? Would it be like an Amazon Prime Video, a Netflix, and so on and so forth? Because I mean, this is also streaming on Peacock, so I don't see Peacock themselves bringing it back, considering this was already airing on NBC to begin with. But I don't know, maybe they decide to change their mind. Maybe it's something they decide that's worth putting their money into, maybe not. I don't know. I just see that as super unlikely, but you never know. So fingers crossed, hoping that show has, a second shot, But really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.